Yo, what up? It's your boy, JJ Stone, aka O Doctor, and today talking about the latest episode of House of the Dragon, episode 6. So, I was gonna start talking about the show a couple episodes ago, but I wanted to see where it was going with the time jumps and everything like that. And just right off the bat, um, spoilers obviously, because we're talking about the latest episode. Is it just me, or are the time jumps making me care less about the characters? I feel like, first of all, overarch, I like the show. I like the direction. It's giving me the feel of Game of Thrones as far as like the chess pieces moving and who's trying to do over who and, have these battles in between. But I don't think I like the time jumps because now that the characters, the princess and the queen have changed and the children have been added, and it just feels weird because the princess and the queen are the two main center forces wielding around, and now that they've changed, it feels weird to me. It's almost like if somebody died. When you watched Game of Thrones, you grew up with them and you felt something for every single character. So when something happened to them, it meant something. And again, it's not all the characters changing, but the king just rapidly aging and decaying the way he is. And I haven't read the books, even though I assume the way it's been talked about, like stuff's not predicated on the books, but I don't know a lot of backstory. So it seems like they're going to be jumping through different eras of the House of the Dragons with all the dragons and, end up with all the dragon fight and all this kind of stuff. I don't know. I just feel a little detached, and I'm just wondering if it was just me. But back to the episode. We're really about to get into the nitty gritty now that the kids are here and of age, of people wanting to take power. The king is feeble. He's lost an arm. He looks like the dude from Tales from the Crypt. Well, I can't remember his name right now, but he looks like the dude from Tales from the Crypt pretty much almost. No arm, like 4 strands of hair. Skin's terrible. And he's always just been a weak man, but now he's a physically weak man and a still just soft and blind to the fact that his daughter's children are bastards, even though if she was a man, it would matter, but it wouldn't matter as much because, as we know, they go through different things where they sire children that aren't theirs, and then they put those kids up or they push them aside. But if she was a man, it'd be treated a little differently. Side note, I don't know why she couldn't just, even though they weren't together, she couldn't have just tried to have one of his babies. There's a lot of ways to get one of those babies at least born without them actually physically having sex. But it seems like they want no parts in doing that. So they're in the instance where they are, where all the kids are coming out brunettes and the queen's kids came out blondes. She's got 3. Now the princess has 3. And first, let me talk about the queen. Allison in this episode was interestingly still trying to keep her "I'm better than you, bitch" attitude going. Like, I am the righteous. I am right. I'm doing it the right way. I laid down with your funky father and gave him 3 kids, 2 sons. It's mine. I deserve this. You do not. You're out here whoring around with these bastard kids. I guess they're all from the same guy, but I don't care. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing the right way. I will say, as fierce as she is on her son now becoming the king, her sons are jerk-offs. One's soft. The daughter seems like the smartest one. The other one is the eldest is just a complete jerk-off, literally jerking off in his window, trying to bust a nut on top of like Walker Buys or whoever is all over the top of the kingdom, And so she's mad at him because he doesn't want to be the king. Well, when you grow up and live in privilege, as we all know, the kids usually are the ones screwing up unless you raise them right. So for all your values and desire to be virtuous and be righteous, you haven't raised your sons knowing that they are the heirs, that they are the kings. Because before she had kids, you had a head start. If you raised your son with some common sense, some values, and spent time with him, because Lord knows the king ain't going to do it. I told you he's missing an arm and he looks like Skeletor. He has no wherewithal to teach and raise your sons and daughter. But when you sit there with your daughter and she seems really bright, I'm like, okay, well, you're spending time with her, but you're not spending time with your sons. One of your sons doesn't have a dragon. Both of Rhaenyra's sons have dragons. I mean, it's not looking good. And her sons obviously have a father figure besides the non-father in their life who has been guiding them and teaching them, and they seem well mannered, I guess. They seem less aloof as the oldest son. And they seem more ready to assume their responsibilities. But your kids aren't. So, I mean, Allison got a little bit of work to do. Christian Cole is now a snitch and a switch and a traitor. He's a traitor. Got that princess, and then she told him the truth straight up, and he couldn't handle it. So now he goes and works for the queen and got that backhanded comment about the princess, and the queen's so righteous she had to like stop him in his place from doing that. And I'm like, man, this dude is just one of those dudes that had a girl, she broke up with him, he can't let it go. He is never going to let this go, and he just wants to see her burn at the stake for what she's done because she wouldn't leave and go live in a poppy field poor with him. So he's going to try and do everything in his power to ruin her and take anything of her dreams or aspirations away from her, which is cool. Until you come mess with the kids and you're teaching. Again, he's spending all this time teaching the blondes. I'm calling blondes brunettes because I forget their names. I don't care right now. So that's what I mean. I'm aloof to the characters. Like, I care, but I don't care. But the blonde kids, they're soft as baby shit too. The brunettes at least seem like they're trying, like I said, well-mannered, focused. I don't know. Maybe that whole inbreeding thing is a thing. Maybe you should stop inbreeding with the, you know what I mean? So when the princess, quote unquote, feels threatened and she offers the interbreeding of the Allison's daughter and her eldest son, the king's like, yeah, let's do that because that's what they do. That's what Targaryens do. That's the way. And she's like, no, I'm not going to take a backhand. I mean, come on, dude. All the kids can reign. You have too many kids as it is. Damon's still out there. Oh, let me talk about that. I'm just jumping all over the place because, again, I'm aloof to it. I don't care yet. Maybe I got to get this full season in me before I care. But Damon, first of all, his wife wasn't even that ugly. She was a hot little brunette, and he didn't want her. He was talking about her like she was a dog. They should have hired an ugly woman to be cast as his wife because that chick didn't deserve to die, be taken out the way she was, but it happened. So Damon's out there just, living like he's on A-Team, just taking the dragons out, saving villages, getting paid. Moving from location to location, not that much, but he's got 2 daughters. He can't bear a son, and his wife just wants to go home. And he's like, "Look, ain't nothing back there for me. There's like 32 kids in line ahead of me. Why am I going to go back? I can't even get you to give me a son. There's no reason to go back." And if she had buried him a son, he would have probably gone back. But in this last birth, she couldn't give birth. And talking to her daughter, I almost foreshadowed that she was going to die because she's like, look, I got my dragon and it wasn't given to me as an egg. Sometimes you have to take a dragon and get a dragon a different way. And her mom was riding the biggest dragon. They did a very good job making that dragon look big. Again, this is all House of Dragons. This is all about the build-up of the Battle of the Dragons and fighting in the air and all that stuff, I guess. But her dragon looked huge. They did a really good job of sizing him up the way that he looked. Or she, whatever it is. I don't know. It's a dragon. But she burned herself alive with the baby instead of dealing with not being able to give birth and get cut open. At that point, let them cut you open and try and save the baby. What are you doing? You got 2 other kids. Like, if you're going to go out like that, at least, hey, cut me open, take out the baby, see if you can save it, then Dragaris. But again, whatever. I don't care. I feel like that was a wasted effort. At least try to save the baby, and then the baby dies. Give me that kind of emotion to deal with. Last thing I'm thinking about this episode. Oh yeah, the Hand of the King and the son got killed. Dude, that's what I'm talking about. I'm already talking about that. What's the dude's name? Where is he at? Sorry, cast is big. Big cast, big cast, big cast. Lars Strong. This little weasel killed his dad and his brother and he's got the little team like the Whisperers, like Littlefinger does. He out here took some dudes from jail, cut their tongues off, probably cut their penis off, and said, "Look, you ain't having no sex, you can't talk to nobody, you do what I tell you to do. Dead men tell no tales. Technically, you're dead because you were supposed to be hung. So go serve me." And he sent him out there to kill his father and his brother. Again, ascending power to himself. Just in that house. Just in that house, he now skips to the front of the line, being, handicapped, disabled, whatever. He was like I gotta watch what I say. He was the weaker of the succession and family line. So he gets rid of the brother and the father, and he gets to go back to Allison and tell her bidding has been done. "Oh, Miss Virtue, I did it because you requested it of me." And she's like, "I didn't request it of you." Right then and there, you should see that he seeks his own power. He's double dipped in power. He got rid of his family. Now he is the heir to that land and that title and that power. And he's going to try and get you to make him the new hand and insert him in a position of power to help you and your sons. And he's got this held over you by saying that it's something that you requested, which if you mess up, he can go snitch to the princess and tell him what you did. And Lord knows you ain't got no dragon for when she comes to roast your bitch ass. Because she will when she finds out that you killed her baby daddy ×3. She gonna come and get you. So all of that is the essence of Game of Thrones that I love. Like these moving parts and all the kids and the infighting and I can skip the inbreeding. I never liked that, but I get it. Whatever. But now we're starting to come into a point where we're going to gel. I guess we got like 4 more episodes left if it holds to standard tradition. I actually don't know how many episodes. I haven't looked that deep into it. But this episode, again, going forward until we get to another storyline or timeline, at least we'll have these characters to grow into, and hopefully I catch a wave and get a feeling. But after episode 3, when I was like getting into it and I realized like, oh, these people are going to be gone and this is going to change. I'm like, oh, all right. And again, it's not everybody, but it shifts your emotional attachment a little bit when they just get swapped out. And I don't like Allison's, the new actress that's playing Allison. I don't like her acting. And that's probably because I got accustomed to the way Emily was playing it. Like I got accustomed to that. So I don't know. What do you think about that? Does that matter to you? I'm sitting here rambling. That's it. I enjoyed the episode. Hopefully going forward, things kind of stay the same until there's new big shifts. What do you think about House of the Dragon? If you listen this far, if you watch this far, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and turn on the bell notifications. I'll be talking about every week now until the end of the season. All right. I'm your boy JJ Stone, aka Doctor. House of the Dragon. I need to get me a dragon. I'm out.